Hello everyone, I am Shruti Kumari, currently pursuing my BTech degree, majoring in Computer Science and Engineering from Amity University, Jharkhand. I have created this project, Homely Hub, of 4-week MERN Stack internship under the Webstack Academy. This is the table of content of my PPT. In this, I will be briefly telling you about my project, the goal of the internship, the project requirements, and also be deep diving into the full stack web development. Also, its subparts like front end, back end, and database, and also the MERN stack. Then, on artificial architecture and design of my MERN stack, implementation details, and last not the least, but conclusion. Now, let's start with the overview of my project. Homely Hub is my internship project and it's an online accommodation booking platform. The main goal of this platform is to make the process of finding and booking accommodation simple, fast, and reliable. Users can easily browse available properties, view their details, and make instant booking through a secure payment system. The platform also provides a real-time booking confirmation so users always know the current status of their reservations. Technically, Homely Hub is built using the MERN stack, which includes MongoDB for the database, Express.js for the backend framework, React.js for the user interface, and the Node.js for the server-side environment. The project focuses heavily on usability, security, and performance, ensuring that both user and administrator has smooth experience. Overall, Homely Hub offers a practical and efficient solution for modern accommodation booking system. Now, the goals of the internship. The main goal of my internship was to gain practical experience in full stack web development using OneStack. I designed and developed a fully functional accommodation booking system, which eventually became my project Homely Hub. One of my key objectives was to integrate Razor Pay to enable secure online payment and build a real-time booking confirmation feature so users can instantly know their booking status. I also focused on improving the usability, security, and performance of the platform to ensure a smooth experience for both users and administrators. Managing user details, property listing, and booking records in a structured way was another important part of this project. Finally, I aim to enhance my debugging, version control, and deployment skills, all essential areas in real-world web development. Project requirements. For developing the Homely Hub project, I used few essential tools and technologies that form the foundation of the MERN stack. I used Visual Studio Code as my main development environment. It provided a clean and efficient setup for both front-end and back-end development. For the database, I used MongoDB, which stores all the user details, property listing, and booking information. Along with that, I used MongoDB Compass. It's a graphical interface that makes it easier to visualize and manage collection and data. On the front end, I used React.js, which helped me design a responsive and dynamic user interface. And finally, for the backend, I used Node.js and Express.js, which handle the server logic, data communication, and routing between different components. Together, together, these tools made it impossible to create a smooth, full stack web development application that connects the front end and backend efficiently. Full stack development. Before moving to my project architecture, I would like to briefly explain what is full stack web development. Full stack involves in working on both the front end and the back end of a web application. The front end is what the user sees and interacts with, all the visual elements, buttons, and pages. The backend, on the other hand, handles the server side logic, things like data management, authentication, and handling user requests. A full stack developer is someone who can work across all these layers, from designing the UI to the managing the database. In this internship, I worked with the MERN Stack, which stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js, one of the most widely used full stack technologies for building dynamic and scalable web applications. This combination allows data to flow smoothly between the front end and the back end, making development faster, more and more efficient. Front end. Frontend is the part of a website or web application that user directly sees and interacts with. It's built mainly using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML provides the structure of a web page. CSS handles the styling and the layout. JavaScript adds the interactivity and functionality like form validation, animation, or dynamic update. In modern web development, we often use front-end frameworks like React.js, Angular, or Vue. These frameworks make it easier to create dynamic and responsive interface that automatically updates when data changes. Front-end development also focuses a lot on UI and UX, ensuring that the design is clean and easy to navigate and works smoothly across all devices. Essentially, the front-end is what gives life to the website visually and functionally, turning code into something user can actually use and enjoy. Backend. Backend is the part of the web application that users don't see. It runs behind the scene and powers everything that happens on the website. For example, when user fills out a form or logs in, the backend takes that data, processes it, and stores it in the database. It is developed using the languages like Node.js, Python, Java, or PHP, and frameworks like Express.js or Django. Helps streamline this process. The backend is also responsible for handling authentication, security, and managing communication between the user interface and the database. Basically, it's the backbone of my web application, ensuring that all the operations are handled efficiently and securely. Database. In full stack web development, the database plays a very important role. It's where all the dynamic data of the website is stored, such as user information, booking, and transaction details. Database can be of two main types, SQL and NoSQL. SQL database like MySQL or PostgreSQL use structured tables with predefined schemas, while NoSQL database like MongoDB store data in flexible JSON-like document. In a full stack setup, the backend communicates directly with the database using queries or models to perform CRUD operation. That is creating, reading, and updating or deleting data. Overall, the database ensures that all the user activities are securely stored and can be accessed whenever needed, making the website application reliable and consistent. Bunster. A MERN Stack is the most widely used technologies in modern web application. It is a combination of four powerful technologies MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js that works together to build a complete web application from start to finish. What makes the MERN Stack unique is that it uses JavaScript throughout, both on client side and the server side. This allows developers to work more efficiently since they don't need to switch between the languages for different parts of the project. It's known for building fast, scalable, and responsive applications. Many modern web platforms like booking system, e-commerce sites, and dashboard use the MERN stack because it allows real-time data updates and smooth performance. In the coming slides, I'll explain each of these components briefly. MongoDB. MongoDB is the database technology used in the MERN stack. It is no SQL database, which means it exports data, stored data in traditional row and column like SQL database. Instead, it stores information in a flexible document-based format, similar to JSON objects. This makes it very easy to handle data that changes frequently or doesn't have a fixed structure. MongoDB is fast, scalable, and works very well with Node.js and Express.js. In my project Homely Hub, I use MongoDB to store the details like property listing, user information, and booking records. It allowed me to efficiently manage and retrieve data for the user in real time. React.js, that is backend framework. React.js is the backend framework of MERN Stack that runs on top of Node.js. It is designed to make server-side development much easier and more organized. With Express.js, I can handle routes, meaning I can define what happens when a user visits a certain page or sends a request. It also manages middleware, which helps process data before it reaches the database or frontend. Essentially, Express.js as the bridge between the frontend and the database. For example, when a user books accommodation on Homely Hub, Express.js handles that request, interacts with the database to save the booking, and then sends a response back to the frontend. It is lightweight, fast, and perfect for creating scalable web applications. React.js. React.js is a front-end technology or library in MERN Stack. It is what users directly interact with. Developed by Meta, React helps with build fast and interactive web application or interface using JavaScript. It allows a component-based structure, which means that the UI is divided into small reusable pieces like property cards, booking form, and navigation bar. This makes the entire front end more organized and easier to manage. React also uses something called virtual DOM, which helps the browser update only the part of the page that actually changed, rather than reloading the whole page. This makes the application feel more fast and smooth. In my project Homely Hub, I used React to design the front end for browsing properties, view details, and making instant booking all in clean and responsive layout. Node.js. Node.js is the technology that powers the backend part of the MERN stack. Normally, JavaScript runs only inside a browser, but with Node.js, it can also run on the server. It is built on Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine, which makes it very fast and efficient. Node uses an event-driven and non-block I/O model, meaning it can handle multiple requests at the same time without slowing down. Node.js also comes with npm, that Node Package Manager, which allows developer to easily install packages and libraries like Express.js or Razorpay to add new features. In my project Homely Hub, Node.js provides the environment for running the server and handling all backend processes from managing routes to in communicating with the backend and sorry, database and frontend. Architecture and design. This diagram clearly represents the architecture of my project Homely Hub, which is based on Munstack. As you can see, the system follows a three-tier structure: the front end, back end, and database. At the front end, React.js manages everything the user interacts with, such as browsing properties, viewing listing, or confirming bookings. The backend builds using Node.js and Express.js handles all the logic behind the scene. It receives requests from the front end, processes them, and connects with the database when needed. MongoDB database stores all the essential informations like user data, property details, and booking records. The flow is essential simple when a user performs an action on the front end, a request goes to the back end, and the database processes or fetches the required data, and then the backend sends the response back to the front end. This architecture ensures smooth communication between all the layers, making the system scalable, reliable, and efficient for real-time performance. Implementation details. For project implementation, I first install all the required tools like VS Code, MongoDB, and Node.js. Then I design the database to store both user and web page related data. The project was structured into three main parts: the front-end, back-end, and database for better organization. I initialized the React app for the frontend and installed all the necessary packages. After that, I set up the backend and connected it to the MongoDB. Once both parts were ready, I integrated the frontend and the backend for smooth data communication. I also used React and Redux for managing the application state efficiently. Finally, I implemented core features such as login, sign up, search, booking system, and checkout pages, and many more. Finally, the conclusion. In conclusion, this project gives me hands on experience with full stack web development and helped me understand how the front end, back end, and database work together as a complete system using the MERN Stack, MongoDB, Express.js, React, and Node. I was able to design a fully functional web application that manages user data, property listing, sign up or login, booking, accommodation, filtration, and many more functional features efficiently. The project strengthened my understanding of modern web technologies, improved my problem solving skills, and taught me how to structure a scalable and responsive application. Overall, this experience has not only enhanced my technical skills but also pre- prepared me to build more advanced real world web applications in the future. Thank you.
The project. Let's briefly understand each of them, what technologies we use. First, let me tell you about the MongoDB Compass. MongoDB Compass is a database application where we store all our database of the project Homely Hub. Here I created a file called Homely Hub which contains the booking details, property details, and the user details. We'll come back to this later on and explain what are these details exactly. So let's try to run our project. Let's open our VS Code. So this is our VS Code. Now we have both frontend and backend folders. Frontend has all our components or utilities that we need to create our project, everything. And also backend has the all the connectivity thing and everything. Let's open our terminal. This is our terminal. We'll divide it into two parts for both of the frontend and backend to run. First, we will go to the backend. cd backend will take us to the backend folder. First, we'll run this npm run dev. As you see, MongoDB connected, so our backend is connected. Let's move on to the frontend. Okay, then npm run dev. We run the program. Here it is. When we click on this local host link, we are moved to our project, which is this, showing all our 16 accommodations, as you can see, all in one page. This is our header section, as you see. This is our header section. This is our Homely Hub logo, which if you click on it, it loads the page again. Here, we can search the destination accommodation according to your destination. You can insert the start date or here. Or let's first move on to login. To book any of the accommodations or property, you need to first have an account. For that, here you can either log in or also you can register over here. If you can insert your name, email, password, then confirm the password on your phone number, and then you can register. As I already have an account, I have just entered my email and the password, and I'll just click login. As you can see, I have login. Then I can view all the properties containing its description, price per night. I can also insert from which start date to end date. I need this um, property for number of guests, my name, my email, and also here I can book. And here also I can um, manage my account, edit my profile, change my password or my bookings, what I have booked yet now, or my accommodation. If I also can add new accommodation by clicking this. We will move on from here later. Let's go to our home page. So as you can see, I can just click on anything, view the pictures more efficiently, and click it, close. You can also see the extra info, also the map here. You can also view the location of our property. You can search also property account, the name like let's say Munnar. I click this and search. See, I get the property name Munnar Farmhouse, Munnar, Kerala, and 28,000, 2,800 per night. Any other like Chennai? Is it there? Let's search it. Oh, we have also a Olive Inn from Chennai, Tamil Nadu with 3,000 per night. Let's go to our homepage again. We can also search according to number of guests. Like maybe I want to have a family of five and we all have to go. Then we can search into the number of guests and search. See, we can get the listing of properties according to guest size. We also have a filter feature here from your according to your price range. You can add the filter housing or entire house or anything searching. You can apply filter. Okay, let's say I have to book a place. It's it's winter. Let's go to Manali. I have to book this. I have a book a hotel room over here. The price is 2,000. I think it's affordable for me. To start, I'll go on 11 and return on this day 20 December, November. Number of guests. Let's enter two. My name, Prima Raj. My phone number. Let's insert anything. And I can just book this place at 18,000. Let's book. It asks for to complete your booking with total amount. Proceed to payment. If I click on it, it asks for confirmation. If I confirm, I can book this place. If I click confirm, it's booked. You see, it comes under my booking. So all my bookings comes under this, my com- MongoDB company. You see, booking it has now two objects over here. One was that Munnar farmhouse and another the recent one, Pink house one. These are the properties, details of my housings. This is my account of my user detail. All the data are here. So this is all of my project. Thank you.